Alright, so I'm here with a late night main event review. It's like 3 in the morning, but who gives a shit? I was doing some other things, and also I want to bring up, my video schedule if anybody even ever looks at that. I forgot to put the main event review on. I was thinking about it like right after the show was over. I'm like, oh, I think I forgot to put the main event review on my calendar. But yeah, sorry guys, nobody's perfect, and yeah, I fucked up. But I do the main event review every week, so yeah. But my bad on that one, guys. If anybody still looks at the video schedule, but yeah, I I usually do the review, I don't know, 12, 1 a.m. Around that time I usually get it up, but yeah, I was doing some other things, didn't really have time, so I'm doing it now. 3 in the fucking morning, who cares, I try to get it up, if I watch a show, I try to get it up, the day after it happens, or the night of the show, the night after the show, the night of the show, my bad, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and sometimes I have to improvise, but whatever, I'm here with your review. First match, we have Sheamus defeating Del Rio. They made it last man standing, except, it was good, that they made it last man standing, I didn't even know why, this, out of the rain, it was like very random, like, oh, it's a last man standing match now. I don't remember them saying that on Raw, that the match was going to be last man standing, but I guess it is. So yeah, it was a last man standing match, and for a last man standing match, it wasn't very good. The best spot was where Sheamus was like holding a steel chair by his head, and Del Rio super kicked it, which looked pretty good. It was a steel chair to the head technically. It wasn't like a direct chair shot, but it was still a pretty good spot. And everything else pretty much sucked. And you also had a good table spot where Del Rio was doing the arm bar, Sheamus picked him up and powerbombed him through the table. But everything else was basically a couple PG chair shots to the back or midsection and some kendo stick shots. So not really that good a match. I'll give it 2.25 out of 5 stars. Yeah, there was some good spots, but it got slow at times too. So yeah, it just didn't do it for me. For a last man standing match, I was expecting more, a few more hardcore spots. We got a table spot, nice little super kick spot, but in a last man standing match, you expect more hardcore spots, and this just didn't do it for me. And why are we seeing Sheamus Del Rio? We just saw them feud, a long ass 6-month feud about in 2012, I believe it was. We don't need to fucking see it. And we just saw this match. We just saw Sheamus defeat Del Rio on SmackDown for the same fucking title. We don't need to see the match again. So 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get some random divas. I think it was Natalia, Naomi, Rosa Mendez for some fucking reason. I don't know, Eva Marie, I believe was it, I don't know, some bitches basically, some jobbers, pretty much, versus Nikki Bella, who is sort of a jobber herself too. Not all of them are jobbers, but you get the point. It was 5-on-1 versus Nikki Bella. Match was pretty boring. I'll give it 1.25 out of 5 stars, and that's, I don't even know why I give it that high of a rate. That's probably pretty generous. There was some botches in there. Like clotheslines. They can't even do clotheslines fucking around. I believe Eva Marie botched a clothesline in there. Pretty boring. And then Cameron attacks Naomi after the match. It's like, I said this in my Raw review, who gives a shit? Nobody gives a shit about this fucking, Cameron versus Naomi, because they're not hot. They're not, Naomi has some wrestling ability, but I shouldn't say that. They're not hot, that's why nobody gives a fuck. They're just not really that good, or they're not intriguing, they don't have a good gimmick. They have a shitty ass gimmick. They just dance all the time. Nobody gives a shit about the Funkadactyls. They fucking suck. Yeah, Naomi can wrestle a little bit, but it's not that entertaining. Nobody cares. So that gets 1.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get the highlight reel with Jericho and Bret Hart. And you know, it was cool to see Bret Hart, but why is he fucking on main event? People, why? I mean, they had the Undertaker on main event like a few months ago before WrestleMania. I'm like, why the fuck is Undertaker on main event? And to make matters worse, he wasn't on the Raw the same week. So I'm, you know, they shouldn't have legends on a fucking jobber show like main event. I mean, it's like a disgrace to the legends. Main event should not have jobbers, should not have legends on it. You know, SmackDown, yeah, maybe you could put somebody on there, but no, not main event, a jobber 1 hour show. You know, don't put a fucking legend on a main event because the show isn't what it's named. It's not a main event show. It's a fucking job. It should be called jobber show. It should not be called main event. See, it's with Jericho. You know, it was decent. You know, it was sort of a repeat of last night. With Sandow coming out, except Sandow. I still laughed at this one, but I thought it was sort of stupid. You know, because everybody thought Shawn Michaels was coming back, but it turned out to be Sandow. You know, so it got you a little bit excited there. You know, I thought, wait, you know, is he really, you know, there's no way Shawn Michaels is gonna be, you know, on main event. I'm like, really, Shawn Michaels is on main event? You know, I didn't think, you know, I thought, well, maybe, but it turned out to be Sandow, so I was a little bit disappointed there, and I hate when they do that. They'll play somebody's music, but then somebody will come out. I mean, it's stupid, like, especially when they tease a return like that. You know, it's just cruel, almost. So I laughed at Sandow. I thought he was pretty funny. You know, some people might be bashing him, but I'm liking how he's dressing up as all these people and imitating them. I think it's pretty funny. It's better than him just not even being on TV every week. So yeah, I thought it was decent. You know, a decent little promo between all the people. You know, it all came together. You know, pretty decent. And then Bret Hart punches Sandow again, but he does a sharpshooter. You know, I thought the sharpshooter, it was awesome to see him put the sharpshooter on Sandow. You know, they should have done it on Raw though. I was saying, you know, just why didn't he put the sharpshooter on you know, in on Sandow on Raw? Yeah, it was great to see him do the sharpshooter here. You know, it's just a pretty good, you know, good moment here. You know, I don't think he's done one in a while too. I think the last time he did one was, wasn't it like back when he was wrestling Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 26 or The Miz? I think he did it on too back then. But yeah, I mean, it was cool to see him do the sharpshooter. You know, overall, you know, I give the show 5 out of 10 stars. Just I think I gave Raw 5 out of 10 stars too. I mean, you know, you had a decent little, you know, I'll give it 5.5 out of 10 stars. Because you had a pretty good segment there to end off the show. But I mean, pretty, you know, underwhelming with the, you know, I was expecting more with the first match, the last man standing. Second match fucking sucked. Third segment, I mean, it was a pretty good segment, with Bret Hart and everything. So yeah, 5.5 out of 10 stars, people. You know, okay to decent show, I guess. But yeah, like if the first match was better, I mean that was the main match, you know. I mean, yeah, why is the Divas match going on after the first match? I mean, that is just complete ass retardation right there. Sheamus vs. Del Rio should have been the last match. I mean, that should have been the main event, but not, or you know, the last. It shouldn't have been the last segment. It should have been the last match, because technically the last match is your main event. So, you know, that should have been the last match. But yeah, you know, I'll give it 5.5 out of 10 stars. So there you go, people. There's your main event review.